Shyness is often misunderstood. Many see it as a simple personality trait, but deep down, it can feel like a wall between who we are and who we wish to be. In Shy No More, Rex Chan gently peels back the layers of shyness to reveal the powerful truth underneath, that it is not a weakness, but a misunderstood strength waiting to be transformed. Through science, psychology, and personal insight, this book guides us on a journey from self-doubt to self-acceptance, from silence to confident self-expression. The book begins by exploring the hidden roots of social anxiety, where it comes from, why it persists, and how our inner dialogue often fuels it. Chan shows that overcoming shyness isn't about becoming someone else, but about reclaiming the courage and authenticity already within us. Step by step, he introduces practical methods to change negative self-talk, build genuine confidence, and navigate social interactions with ease. From mastering body language to embracing gradual exposure, every chapter offers a roadmap for turning fear into freedom. What makes this book special is its compassion. Instead of pushing us to just be confident, it teaches us to grow gently, to celebrate small victories, and to trust that progress comes one moment at a time. Shy No More isn't just about social confidence. It's about rediscovering your voice and stepping fully into your life. If you believe in personal growth and want to keep learning through the world's most inspiring books, make sure to join our Wiser Reads community. Subscribe today, and let's keep growing wiser, one story at a time.
The hidden power of shyness. Shyness is often seen as a flaw, but in Shy No More, Rex Chan redefines it as a quiet strength. In this chapter, he explores how shyness can carry deep sensitivity, empathy, and self-awareness, qualities that, when understood, can become powerful tools for connection and growth. Chan argues that shy individuals are often excellent listeners and observers, capable of forming genuine relationships built on understanding rather than performance. However, the same sensitivity that gives shyness its depth can also make social situations feel overwhelming. Chan explains that this isn't a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of heightened emotional awareness. When managed properly, it becomes a form of emotional intelligence. He invites readers to stop fighting their natural temperament and instead learn to work with it, transforming hesitation into thoughtfulness and fear into focus. The chapter offers insights on how embracing shyness can lead to personal and professional success. By valuing introspection and calm observation, shy people can excel in creativity, leadership, and meaningful communication. Chan reminds us that the goal isn't to eliminate shyness, but to uncover its hidden potential, to turn self-consciousness into self-knowledge and quietness into confidence. Ultimately, the hidden power lies in accepting who we are and learning to express it authentically. Understanding the roots of social anxiety. In this chapter, Rex Chan digs into the psychological and emotional origins of social anxiety, a condition that goes beyond mere shyness. He explains that social anxiety often develops from early experiences of judgment, rejection, or criticism, which condition the mind to associate social interactions with danger. Over time, the brain's protective instinct turns into avoidance, reinforcing fear and self-doubt. Chan highlights that social anxiety is not about weakness, but about overactive self-protection. The anxious mind tries to predict and prevent embarrassment, creating endless what-if scenarios. Unfortunately, this inner vigilance only strengthens the fear it seeks to escape. The author also explores how perfectionism and comparison amplify anxiety, pushing people to believe they must perform flawlessly to be accepted. Through psychological insights and compassionate storytelling, Chan helps readers see that social anxiety is learned, and therefore it can be unlearned. By understanding its roots, we begin to loosen its hold. He introduces the idea of retraining the mind through awareness, acceptance, and gradual exposure to feared situations. Each small step toward courage rewires the brain, proving that safety and confidence can coexist. Ultimately, this chapter teaches that the path to overcoming social anxiety begins not with fighting fear, but with understanding it and learning to treat ourselves with patience and kindness.
Breaking the cycle of fear and avoidance. Fear and avoidance often work hand in hand, creating a cycle that keeps people trapped in social anxiety. In Shy No More, Rex Chan explains that the more we avoid what scares us, the stronger our fear becomes. Avoidance may bring temporary relief, but it also teaches the brain that certain situations are unsafe, reinforcing the anxiety we're trying to escape. Over time, this pattern limits opportunities, relationships, and personal growth. Chan breaks down this cycle with clarity and compassion. He shows how the mind confuses discomfort with danger, and how every act of avoidance strengthens that illusion. The key, he says, is not to eliminate fear, but to face it gradually in manageable steps. Through gentle exposure, starting with small, safe challenges, we can retrain the brain to recognize that social situations are not threats, but opportunities for connection. He introduces the idea of the courage loop, a positive counterpart to the fear cycle. Each time we confront a fear, even slightly, we gain evidence that we can handle it. This success builds confidence, which reduces anxiety, encouraging us to take the next step. Over time, this new loop replaces avoidance with empowerment. Chan also emphasizes the importance of self-compassion during this process. Progress is rarely linear. Setbacks are normal and even necessary for growth. By approaching fear with curiosity instead of judgment, we learn that anxiety is not an enemy, it's a signal that we're stretching beyond our comfort zone. Ultimately, breaking the cycle of fear and avoidance is about reclaiming control. It's about saying yes to life's invitations instead of hiding from them, realizing that freedom is not the absence of fear, but the courage to move forward despite it. Changing your inner dialogue. In this transformative chapter, Rex Chan reveals that one of the greatest barriers to confidence lies not in the outside world, but in the conversations we have with ourselves. Our inner dialogue, the voice that comments, criticizes, and predicts, can either empower us or hold us hostage. For shy and socially anxious individuals, this voice often becomes harsh and self-defeating, repeating messages like, "I'm not good enough," or "everyone is judging me." Chan explains that these thoughts are not facts, but mental habits shaped by past experiences. The more we listen to them, the more they shape our emotions and behavior. The solution, he says, is to become aware of this internal monologue and consciously rewrite it. By observing our thoughts instead of identifying with them, we begin to separate who we are from what we think. He introduces practical methods such as thought reframing, mindfulness, and affirmations to replace self-criticism with encouragement. For instance, turning "I always mess things up" into "I'm learning and improving each time" shifts the emotional tone from shame to growth. This mental reprogramming gradually builds confidence and self-trust. He also emphasizes the importance of kindness and self-talk. The goal is not to force positivity, but to speak to ourselves as we would to a friend, with patience, honesty, and compassion. Over time, this new inner voice becomes a source of strength, silencing the echoes of fear. Changing your inner dialogue teaches that the words we feed our mind become the reality we live in. When we change the conversation inside, the world outside changes too.
True confidence begins not with louder speech or bolder actions, but with a gentler, wiser voice within.
Building real self-confidence from within. In this empowering chapter, Rex Chan reveals that true self-confidence is not about pretending to be fearless or performing for others. It's about building a quiet trust in oneself from the inside out. He explains that external validation, such as compliments, popularity, or success, can create a temporary sense of confidence, but it often fades when circumstances change. Real confidence, on the other hand, comes from self-acceptance and internal stability, the understanding that your worth does not depend on anyone else's opinion. Chan encourages readers to see confidence as a skill rather than a trait. It can be cultivated through self-awareness, courage, and consistency. He highlights the importance of setting realistic goals, keeping promises to yourself, and celebrating small victories. Each time you follow through on what you say you'll do, you strengthen self-trust, the foundation of inner confidence. He also addresses the dangers of comparison. Many people measure their value against others, which only feeds insecurity. Chan advises focusing instead on personal progress, asking, "Am I growing compared to who I was yesterday?" This shift in perspective turns confidence into an inner journey rather than a social contest. The author underscores that real confidence includes vulnerability. It's not about being perfect, but being authentic enough to show up as you are. Accepting mistakes and imperfections allows confidence to grow naturally because it's rooted in truth, not performance. Ultimately, Chan shows that confidence built from within becomes unshakable. It doesn't vanish when criticized or tested. It grows quietly, nourished by self-respect, self-compassion, and daily courage. When you stop seeking approval and start believing in your own worth, you no longer need to act confident. You simply are. The art of small steps, gradual exposure. In this pivotal chapter, Rex Chan introduces the concept of gradual exposure, the process of facing fears step by step instead of all at once. He explains that lasting confidence doesn't come from sudden transformation, but from steady progress. Each small, intentional action weakens fear's grip and rewires the brain to associate social situations with safety rather than threat. Chan emphasizes that anxiety thrives on avoidance. When we continually escape discomfort, the mind learns that fear equals danger. Gradual exposure reverses this pattern by teaching the nervous system that nothing catastrophic happens when we step outside our comfort zone. The key is consistency, not speed. Even tiny acts of courage, repeated regularly, lead to lasting change. He provides practical examples, starting with a smile at a stranger, making brief small talk, or volunteering an opinion in a group. Each small step, though simple, builds emotional resilience and confidence. Chan stresses that discomfort is not failure, it's a sign of growth. Feeling nervous means you're stretching beyond familiar limits, which is exactly where transformation happens. Self-compassion plays a vital role in this process. Chan encourages readers to track progress, forgive setbacks, and view every attempt as success. Fear doesn't vanish overnight, but through repeated exposure, it loses its authority. The once intimidating situations gradually become manageable and eventually natural. He calls this process building courage muscle. Just like physical exercise, emotional courage grows through regular training, not one grand leap. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes routine. In the end, the art of small steps reminds readers that freedom from shyness isn't a dramatic breakthrough, but a gentle unfolding. Step by step, fear turns into confidence,
hesitation into action, and anxiety into ease. The journey may be slow, but every small victory brings you closer to social freedom.
Mastering body language and presence. In this insightful chapter, Rex Chan explores how our body language communicates far more than our words ever could. For shy or socially anxious individuals, physical cues like avoiding eye contact, slouching, or fidgeting often send unintentional signals of discomfort or insecurity. Chan emphasizes that mastering body language isn't about acting fake or forcing confidence. It's about aligning how you feel inside with how you present yourself outwardly. He begins by explaining that confidence starts in the body. The way you stand, breathe, and move directly influences your emotional state. Simple adjustments, such as standing tall, keeping shoulders relaxed, maintaining open posture, and breathing deeply, can calm anxiety and project assurance. Chan calls this embodied confidence, where changing your physical state sends powerful feedback to your brain that says, "I am safe. I belong here." Presence, he notes, is equally vital. True presence means being fully engaged in the moment instead of lost in self-conscious thoughts. When you're truly present, others sense your authenticity and warmth. Chan suggests mindfulness techniques, grounding yourself through breath, maintaining gentle eye contact, and genuinely listening to help bring your focus outward rather than inward. He also reminds readers that body language is about connection, not performance. Smiling naturally, nodding, mirroring subtle gestures, and respecting personal space all communicate trust and openness. The goal isn't to appear confident, it's to be comfortable enough that confidence shows effortlessly. By mastering body language and cultivating presence, Chan teaches that you can transform every social interaction. You no longer enter a room hoping to be accepted. You arrive already knowing you belong. Developing social skills that feel natural. In this practical and encouraging chapter, Rex Chan dismantles the myth that social skills are reserved for extroverts or naturally outgoing people. He explains that effective social interaction is not about performing or pretending. It's about learning simple, authentic habits that make connection feel natural and enjoyable. Chan highlights that social anxiety often comes from overthinking, constantly analyzing what to say, how to act, or whether we're being judged. The solution, he says, is to shift focus from yourself to the other person. True confidence grows when you care more about understanding others than impressing them. He introduces easy, actionable techniques, active listening, asking open-ended questions, and finding common ground. These tools help conversations flow without pressure. Chan encourages readers to express curiosity, make small observations, and allow pauses without panic, reminding them that silence can also communicate comfort. The author also emphasizes authenticity. Trying to mimic others or use rehearsed lines often feels forced and draining. Instead, speak from genuine interest, share honest experiences, and allow vulnerability. People connect more deeply with sincerity than perfection. Practice, Chan assures, is key. Like any other skill, social ability strengthens with repetition. Each interaction, from a casual greeting to a deeper talk, refines your communication instincts. Over time, you stop trying to be social and simply are. Ultimately, this chapter teaches that meaningful connection doesn't require charisma or loudness. It requires presence, empathy, and a willingness to engage. When social skills come from a place of authenticity rather than performance, they stop feeling like effort and start feeling like joy.
Overcoming rejection and negative self-image.
In this deeply compassionate chapter, Rex Chan tackles one of the most painful struggles faced by shy and socially anxious people, the fear of rejection and the burden of a negative self-image. He explains that much of our insecurity stems from how we interpret rejection, not the rejection itself. Many internalize it as proof of inadequacy. But in reality, rejection is a universal experience, one that says more about circumstances than about our worth. Chan emphasizes that self-image is not a fixed truth, but a story we tell ourselves. Years of criticism, comparison, or social failure can distort that story until we see ourselves through the lens of shame. The key to healing, he says, is learning to rewrite it. This begins with self-compassion, replacing harsh self-judgment with understanding. By treating ourselves with the same kindness we would offer a friend, we begin to rebuild inner trust and emotional resilience. He also reframes rejection as redirection. Each no or failed interaction provides feedback that helps us grow, refine, and realign toward better opportunities. Chan reminds readers that even confident people experience rejection. They simply don't let it define them. Confidence isn't about never being rejected. It's about knowing you'll be okay when you are. Practical steps include journaling to challenge negative beliefs, visualizing compassionate self-dialogue, and practicing gratitude for personal progress. As these habits strengthen, self-worth begins to rise from within rather than depending on others' approval. Ultimately, overcoming rejection means learning that your value is not up for negotiation. When you stop needing external validation, rejection loses its sting and self-acceptance becomes your greatest source of power. Transforming nervous energy into authentic charm. In this inspiring and transformative chapter, Rex Chan teaches that nervousness, when understood and directed properly, can become a powerful source of authentic charm. Instead of viewing anxiety as something to eliminate, he reframes it as energy, a natural physiological response that can be channeled into enthusiasm, presence, and warmth. He explains that the body's stress response, racing heart, trembling hands, or flushed cheeks, is simply a sign that we care. These reactions show that we're alive, engaged, and emotionally invested. The problem isn't the nervous energy itself, but our resistance to it. By accepting it with curiosity instead of fear, we shift from panic to flow. He suggests grounding techniques such as deep breathing, mindful posture, and gentle movement to regulate the body before social interactions. Then, rather than suppressing the energy, use it to fuel expressiveness, speaking with animation, smiling genuinely, and listening actively. This turns tension into vitality. Chan emphasizes that authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to those who are genuine, not flawless. When you stop trying to appear perfectly composed and instead allow your true emotions to shine through, you come across as relatable and sincere. Nervousness, when embraced, can actually make you more human and therefore more likable. He also shares the mindset of friendliness over performance. Focusing on connection instead of impression allows nervous energy to soften into warmth. Over time, this reconditioning teaches the mind that social situations are opportunities, not threats. Ultimately, Chan shows that nervous energy is not your enemy, but your hidden ally. When transformed with awareness and acceptance, it becomes the spark that makes your presence memorable, turning anxiety into authentic charm.
Living boldly, stepping into social freedom. In this empowering chapter, Rex Chan brings together the lessons of Shy No More into a single powerful message that living boldly doesn't mean being fearless, it means acting despite fear.
Social freedom, he explains, is the ability to move through the world without being ruled by self-doubt, judgment, or the need for approval. It's about reclaiming your right to express yourself fully, to connect openly, and to live authentically. Chan begins by dismantling the idea that confidence is something we wait for before taking action. Instead, he reveals that action creates confidence. Every time we take a small risk, starting a conversation, voicing an opinion, or showing vulnerability, we prove to ourselves that we are capable. These micro moments of courage accumulate, building genuine inner strength. He encourages readers to shift from a mindset of avoidance to one of engagement. Living boldly doesn't mean being loud or dominant. It means saying yes to experiences, embracing discomfort, and allowing imperfection. Chan urges readers to stop viewing social situations as tests of worth and start seeing them as opportunities to connect, learn, and grow. Authenticity is at the heart of this freedom. When you stop trying to be who others expect and start being unapologetically yourself, anxiety loses its grip. Chan reminds us that true boldness is quiet, steady, and compassionate. It's the courage to show up as you are, again and again. By practicing self-acceptance, taking small risks, and valuing progress over perfection, we gradually step into a life where social confidence feels natural. Living boldly is not about escaping fear, but transforming it into fuel for growth. It's about choosing expression over silence, and in doing so, finally discovering the joy of being free. Conclusion: becoming the confident you were meant to be. In the inspiring conclusion of Shy No More, Rex Chan reminds readers that confidence is not something we find, it's something we build. Every moment of awareness, every act of courage, and every kind word we offer ourselves contributes to the creation of a new identity, one rooted in authenticity and self-trust. Chan reflects on the journey through shyness, fear, and self-doubt, showing that these experiences are not obstacles, but teachers. They guide us towards self-knowledge, compassion, and resilience. The goal was never to erase shyness completely, but to evolve it, to transform it from a limitation into a source of quiet strength. He encourages readers to see themselves not as works in progress, but as works in motion, always growing, always learning. Confidence is not a permanent state, it's a practice. It's built in everyday choices, speaking when you used to stay silent, trying again after rejection, and believing in your worth even when others don't see it. Chan also reminds us that connection is the heart of confidence. When we engage with others from a place of sincerity rather than fear, we create genuine relationships and inspire trust. The power of presence, vulnerability, and kindness becomes our natural charisma. The conclusion closes with a hopeful message. You don't need to wait to feel ready to live boldly. You already have everything you need within you: the courage, the compassion, and the potential. The journey from shyness to confidence is not about becoming someone new, but about coming home to who you truly are. When you embrace that truth, you don't just overcome shyness, you embody freedom. You become the confident, authentic version of yourself that was waiting all along to be seen.
As we reach the end of Shy No More by Rex Chan, we're reminded that shyness is not a flaw to be fixed. It's a part of us, waiting to be understood and transformed. This book isn't about turning you into someone else. It's about uncovering the quiet confidence that's already within you. Through gentle guidance, Chan shows how every moment of fear can become a moment of growth,
And every small act of courage can slowly rewrite the story you tell yourself. From exploring the roots of social anxiety to breaking the cycle of avoidance, each chapter teaches practical steps toward emotional freedom. We learn to shift from self-criticism to self-compassion, to replace negative inner dialogue with supportive thoughts, and to transform nervous energy into authentic charm. Chan reminds us that confidence isn't built in one bold leap. It's cultivated through countless small steps, through patience, practice, and persistence. The true message of Shy No More is that confidence begins not when fear disappears, but when we decide to stop letting it control us. Living boldly means saying yes to life, even when it feels uncomfortable, and trusting that you are worthy of connection, love, and expression just as you are. If this journey resonated with you, remember, growth never stops here. Every story you listen to, every insight you gain, brings you closer to the best version of yourself. Join our Wiser Reads community, where we explore books that awaken, inspire, and transform. Subscribe today, and let's keep learning, healing, and growing wiser together, one story at a time.